Welcome to Google My Maps and how to create a new map. Our first step is to press the red button on the upper left that says Create a New Map. As the map opens for Google My Maps, the first thing you want to do is give your map a title. For this map, I'm going to be doing national parks. I'm going to go ahead and title my map here. I can add a description. If students are working together to collaborate, this is a great place for them to add their names so you know who's working on whose map and who's collaborating together. Pressing Save will take you back to your main map. From here, I usually have students choose their base map. The styling of the base map is up to you if you give them an assignment, or you can allow them to choose depending on what your assignment is. The basic map you will show first. Satellite and terrain are also useful. If you're doing this for a science class, you may use a terrain map. If you're using this for social studies, you may prefer just the regular map view. Students a lot of times will prefer the satellite view because it looks the most like what they see on Google Earth. After I've decided what kind of base map I'm going to have, I can close those options, and I can go up here to decide the name of my layer. You can add multiple layers of locations in your map. For starting your first map with students, I would say your first layer could be just the base layer of national parks. I don't need to specify a different area of this. I can name it the same as the title. It's going to be one area I'm looking at. If I was doing a map where I was traveling, I might put cities. I might put another layer by adding a layer and put maybe places to stay, another layer that's attractions, and another layer that could be even restaurants I'm going to stop on my way. While we're here, I also want to point out the sharing options. For sharing, it shares just like you would in a Google Drive file. You can change access here, so you can share your map with anyone in Milford Schools with the link, or anyone in Milford Schools can find and save those, and it's a viewable map. It's a great way to have students share their work with each other and view each other's maps. You can even have them ask some questions to accompany their map so that each student, you learn some map skills as they're viewing each other's. Kind of like a seek and find on the map to see if they can locate and figure things out while viewing others' maps. It's nice to also be able to collaborate with other students. They can add their names here, and they can choose Can Edit and get to their maps. A great way to add students working together is to have them collaborate and add some points together so the research goes a little bit quicker. For national parks, I'm going to go ahead and put the location here. I can type in a physical location, coordinates, or I can search a location. For here, I'm going to start with the Grand Canyon. I want to go to Grand Canyon National Park. As you see, the search starts to bring up other items that say Grand Canyon. Since I'm doing national parks, I'm going to go straight here to National Park. The map will zoom in to this location, take you to this spot where it's in a holding area on the left-hand side. To add it to the map, I must press Add to Map. The icon will change in style and shape and color. You can always change this by style here. I usually have students add the markers first, add their pins, go back, change their styles later. You can also from here edit information. You can add text about this Grand Canyon National Park, when it opened, when it became a national park, and different facts they want to know about this. Students can save their information. They can also add images or video. This adds a lot more features to their map. I use the More option by pressing on the camera and then pressing More. I can do a Google image search or even a YouTube search to insert a video. I'm going to type in Grand Canyon here and search. From here, I can find a picture I'd like to use, select it, and insert it into my Google My Map. You can add additional pictures, and you can trash pictures if you wish to go back and add a different one. I'm going to go ahead and save this picture for now. I can close out of this location. To be able to see this map and use these dynamic features, I can click on the name of the item over here I've pinned, and it will pop up and open again. If I had text, it would appear here, or I can press on the actual pins. The next national park I'm going to be putting is Yellowstone. I type in the name, it comes up. I'm able to zoom in on the map. It takes me to Yellowstone National Park. My next step again is Add to Map. It's in a holding area until I've added it to my map. From here, you can change the style again. I'm just going to change the color of my icon. You'll see popular icons down below and even more icons that opens up a whole other page for your students to add to all these locations on their maps. I'm going to close out of that and go to the next option, which leads me to image or video. I'm going to change my search this time to Yellowstone and choose a location I'd like to put in here. Again, I can add more pictures, trash this to save it, and add text information here. Pressing save allows me to save this picture for my map and allows me to go on to add additional points. I'm always able to zoom in and zoom out using the zooming in the lower right. By zooming out, I can see all the pins I have put on my map, depending on how many you have and the locations across your map and location. You can also choose a small area. You don't have to do anything across the whole entire United States. You can choose locations that are close. Here's one way you might use locations that are close or far away. If you hover over this icon that shows draw a line, your options are to add a line or shape if you want to line out territories and different shapes that you want to put on your map. You can also add driving routes from one point A to point B. And if you're in a close area, if you're doing just a map of Milford or a map of just a small city area, you can add biking and walking routes. I'm going to go ahead and add a driving route. For driving routes, it'll open up here and it says to click on the map to start tracing your route. I want to go ahead and click on the point where I'm beginning. I began this map in Grand Canyon National Park. I'm going to select it here, and I'm going to take myself to the next point on the map and press again. You can see my first spot I touched labeled as Part A, and the second part labeled as Part B. So to travel from one to the next, it shows me from starting at the Grand Canyon Village and ending at Yellowstone National Park. The driving directions, if I want to select my transportation mode, I can also add destinations here. You can add these locations and you can also turn these on or off to show the directions from one to the next. If you want to travel by bicycle or by walking, you can also change those features here. This is an example of a layer because I can turn this off and on to look at this area. I'm going to turn that off for now. Another feature you might consider using is how many miles to stay between these 2 points. You can have students figure this by using the measuring distance in areas. Using the measuring tool, I can start here on my pin, drag it to the next pin, and it'll give you approximate distance to one pin to the next. If you want students to figure exact location, then you need to have a physical address, just like you would on a real map. You can give approximate distances here. You can continue these distances onto a third point, a fourth point, and so on. To get out of this mode, you press the measuring tool again to measure distance in areas, and it pops back out. I hope this enables you to get started with making Google My Maps and just adding some points and being able to edit those locations and add dynamic features, such as we did earlier, with adding pictures and adding text and information, and hopefully sharing the map so students can work together to create their Google My Maps. Thanks for watching.